And time now to head off to Miami. Jeff Dudas standing on by from underwatertimes.com. Good morning to you, Jeff.
Hey, how you doing, Wammo?
Very well, thank you very much. What's our top story today?
It's Thierry Henry. It's a famous French footballer, used to play in the English Premier League. He's decided to destroy his home to build an aquarium.
Wow.
He has this huge home in North London. It's supposed to be, this sort of architectural wonder. He spent, I think, almost £6 million on it, and he's basically going to demolish it to build a 4-story aquarium in his house.
Okay, and where's he planning on?
He's basically going to build a house around this aquarium.
So he is going to live there?
Yeah. So it's going to be a 5,500-gallon aquarium. Supposedly, just the aquarium is going to cost £250,000, and to make this 4 stories tall, he has to rebuild his house to essentially around the aquarium.
So is he a big fan of fish, or what's the story?
Evidently, more money than sense, or something like that. But it's going to be a 15-foot long by a 3-foot wide aquarium. Supposedly, it's going to cost like £12,000 a year to run.
Yeah.
The food bill, £2,500 a year, and instead of it's going to be 4 stories tall, but they said there is one cost-saving technique he's going to employ. Instead of being one giant aquarium, it's going to be 4 aquariums that are 1 story tall, but it's going to appear to be all one aquarium. So it's sort of an optical illusion, but evidently to do it that way, it's much easier to maintain and evidently much easier to build. But
well, I guess if that's what he wants to do with his money, I suppose if there was some conservation value in it, that would be all right.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, there's some of these fish, it's actually controversial, the tropical fish. Some are grown locally, and it's easy to get a hold of them, but some fish are actually taken out of the Pacific or Indonesia and such and shipped over, and it's sort of controversial the way that trade goes.
Okay. All right, what else have you got?
This is a story out of Malaysia, and it's sort of a strange lunchtime story. A lady went down to the market, got a couple little baby sharks out of the market, took them home, was going to make shark curry for her husband, which is evidently a local specialty.
Yeah.
She started slicing open and filleting the sharks, and out of one of these baby sharks was this little artifact, and it turned out to be a medallion, and it's like several hundred years old.
Holy cow.
They started looking at it, and it's a medallion worn by Portuguese soldiers, presumably for protection. And the Portuguese colonized this area in the 16th century, so this thing's 500 years old or something, maybe older than that, perhaps. It's like 7 centimeters by 6 centimeters, weighs about 10 grams. It has a woman's head on one side with a crown circled by a halo and an inscription on the other side. You can't really tell. But what they think, the experts looked at it. What they think it is Queen Elizabeth on one side, who was the consort of this Portuguese king. And this king goes back from 1200 to 1300. So, this thing maybe is definitely several hundred years old. So she sort of made out. The husband decided he wasn't going to eat the fish,
right?
Because he thinks it's considers the fish a religious item now. So he went without lunch, but they sort of scored on the medallion.
How extraordinary! Finally, what else have you got?
Weird bacteria that enjoy being eaten. And so it's a strange story. There's it's not totally unknown. In the oceans there's bioluminescence, and sometimes if you go out to the shore at night, you can see it light up.
Yeah.
But if you get down into the deep sea, this also goes on, because these creatures, they light up to see other prey. And as it's turned out, they found this bacteria that lights up, and its purpose for being lit up is actually being to be eaten by zooplankton. And as the zooplankton eats this bacteria, the bacteria can't be digested by the zooplankton, so it continues to grow inside of its belly, and it actually lights up the zooplankton,
right.
which is in turn seen by fish, and the fish eat the zooplankton, and so that's sort of its whole life. And they figure out, well, why would the bacteria grow? Why would it be doing this?
Yeah.
And the scientists basically figured out is it basically transports the bacteria to different parts of the ocean.
Well, I suppose it's like on land, flowers and seeds that look attractive to animals, so that they could be carried away and carry on life.
Sure, like birds and bears eat things and spread them out. So they said this bacteria is sort of like going to paradise, where it's it's a safe place full of nutrients, and you get transported to sort of a different place. So that's what the scientists have figured out.
Fascinating. Do the fish glow, or it doesn't quite go that far?
No, the fish don't glow, but everything else does. So maybe when they're put out again in another part of the ocean, something else glows, but not the fish.
It's like something from that movie Avatar.
Exactly. So.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Cheers. Jeff Dudas at underwatertimes.com is where you'll find those stories and a whole lot more as well.